Welcome to We Chat Football, the channel where we chat football, and today we'll be doing a rival watch. And the rival watch that we're doing is what's happening at Manchester United. Why is it not working for Amorim? Like, these are serious questions that we have to ask. We have seen other managers go to Manchester United. It's not as bad as what it has been for Amorim, but it's gotten progressionally worse each new manager they get. Manchester United fan won't want to admit that, but it has been. No, the question is it the manager's fault or is it the board's fault or is it the player's fault? Like, these are like serious questions that we have to ask. And is there any improvement on Manchester United this season? Let's look into that. And I have some more questions that I need to go over some more topics just to figure it out. Sorry if my voice sounds a bit weird. I'm fighting a cold, but you know what? We have to do this show. We have to keep it going. No, Amorim was looked at as one of Europe's finest young upcoming manager. Liverpool looked at him. There was certain control that he wanted at Liverpool, where Liverpool said, no, can't allow you to have that type of control. And therefore, Liverpool turned away and went into the likes of Arne Slot. We sat down, all that kind of stuff. He went to West Ham. He didn't like what West Ham had going on. Surprise, surprise, they're in a relegation battle right now. And he chose to go to Manchester United. Now, in a summer where he needs to get rid of a lot of players and bring in some players, you have to ask a question like, why is it the likes of Casemiro and Bruno playing as their pivot in this team? Yes, I know Ugarte isn't the best, but you do have Kobe Mano. The fact that Saudi came in for Bruno, Bruno is still at the club. The fact that Casemiro is still at the club, and the fact that you're playing them, Mason Mount. What has Mason Mount done to deserve playing time? That's the other thing. It's what have these players done to get rewarded with playing time? You have the lights of Zersky, who I thought wasn't the worst. I mean, still a young striker. The fact is that they went out and they bought two young strikers, which none of them is going to be learning off anyone. They should have got somebody with more experience with one young striker. So therefore, it can help build the young player up, get him to understand the game, learn from somebody. Anyways, they bought two young striker. Huijsland, I think they're playing him a lot because I think they're trying to sell him. But however, Zersky is getting frozen out for no reason. And I personally believe that Zersky is better than Haaland, but that's neither here nor there. However, they went in and they bought Sesko. Now, buying Sesko on a front line already, that I look at it and be like, what you needed was somebody in the middle of the park to go out and buy a midfielder. First two games that you played, you're looking at it and then you're starting these two players in the middle of the park that has failed at Manchester United and they have not moved on. Casemiro, Bruno have not moved on yet. No wonder you're getting overrun in midfield. No wonder you look so lethargic going forward and stuff like that. For example, Cunha can play up front on his own, up front in the front three. Get Bruno closer to the goal because that's Bruno's strongest position. Why is Bruno playing in the pivot? Get Bruno closer to the goal, and then get Kobe Bano inside that midfield so there is legs in the midfield. There is no legs in the midfield. The fact is also Bruno shouldn't be here this summer. Let's be honest. It's another summer. You got a transfer for him, and the club looked and said it's up to the player if he wants to leave. Now, that shows me that's a club that does not show where they're going. Because it's either you want to rebuild, start afresh, or you want to continue with this trust that you have. The other problem is he has a 24.1 win percentage, which is dreadful for a manager managing one of the traditional top club. A 24% win rate is diabolical. To be fair, it is really mad. You can't be one of the manager of the top clubs. Again, United is going through their worst ever era, right? That is not an understatement. They're going through their worst ever era. They have picked up trophies. They have been to a few finals. But at the end of the day, you can't have a 24% win rate in the Premier League having Manchester United and having the players that you have at your disposal. So this is where you start to look at the manager and being like, is the job too big for him? That's the other thing that you have to ask. Or you look at the players and being like, is it that you're not good enough as how everybody think you are? So at some point, something has to give at Manchester United, and sacking another manager is like crazy, but there is nothing here to state that Amorim should keep his job. And that's the worst part, is that getting rid of Ten Hag, you wouldn't believe that Amorim would have been worse than Ten Hag. It's mind-boggling, to be fair. Like, in the last 44 matches that Manchester United play, they've only won like what, 17 matches? 9 draws? 18 losses? Like, that's crazy. Like, all his 44 matches at Manchester United, he has lost more games than he has won. There are so many teams in the Premier League that's still worse than Manchester United on paper. So it's not like Manchester United have a bum squad. They have a bum squad compared to the rest of the top six, but it's not like a bum squad compared to the rest of the league. So being able to only win 17 games in your first 44, it is crazy. So I'm wondering, is he trying to get sacked or anything? Like, what are we doing? In his last 29 games, he only picked up what, 28 points? That's unheard of for any of the top six. Any other top six would have sacked, well, except Arsenal, who kept on to Mikel Arteta, and that's another story. But any other team in the top six would have sacked him by now. Not working, cut ties. But again, can Manchester United afford to sack another manager? Right? And again, like the stats just still don't help. I was trying to make a case for Amorim because, like me personally, I liked Amorim for what he did at Sporting. I wanted him at Liverpool. Now I'm seeing it at Manchester United. I'm like, happy that that didn't happen. And I am wrong because I thought he would have been able to turn Manchester United around. Maybe not last season because he came in midway through the season, but after preseason, going into this season, he would have been able to turn them around. Like, he's averaging like what, 1.4 points per game. Again, that we see Manchester United finishing mid-table if they continue on the same trajectory, but at the same time, it is one of them where you're looking at, how is this sustainable going forward? How are they going to break back into the top four or challenge or picking up major silverware throughout his tenure? And yeah, it's mad. It's mad. But again, you have to question, why is he still playing Casemiro and Bruno at the club? Why? That's it. That's it. I can understand playing Bruno, the club captain. I can understand that. But if you want to play Bruno, just play the front three, like Bruno in one of the tens. Let what's his name, Cunha, play top and Bremer off the right, and then you put a likes of Kobe Manu inside that midfield. No, Kobe Manu is looking to leave Manchester United, so you're holding on to these like overpaid, past it players, but you're willing to move out a lot of the young players out of the squad, which for me is like brutal. It's absolutely brutal that you're willing to do that. The other thing is that he failed to win 2 Premier League games in a row. How can you be managing Manchester United but fail to win these games? That's just crazy. You can't be failing to win 2 games in a row managing Manchester United. Now, where does Manchester United go from here? As a rival fan, I hope relegation. That's just me as a rival fan. Hope they get relegated. I'm a Liverpool fan. What do you think? I want them to be better. But then we can't overlook this because this could be any one of our clubs making these bad decisions. Because again, it only matters that how ambitious the owners are to push us forward. And that's it. Liverpool changed gear this season and is bringing in better players, world class players, I would say, something that we have not seen, and breaking the bank, something that we have not seen Liverpool done ever. Well, since the 80s, but you know what I mean. Here we have Manchester United sinking lower and lower and lower and lower. So the question still remains, Do you think Amorim can turn it around? And also, where does Manchester United go from here? Drop a comment in the video below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think Amorim can turn it around. Let me know if you think he'll get sacked this season. And where do you think Manchester United will finish this season? I still believe that there was somewhat of a good manager in there. They still can finish outside of they might finish in the top half of the league because point projection shows that they will finish top half of the league. But for everything else, it just shows that they're in a dire state for the level of club they're at. But okay, let me know what you think. Yes or no? And let me know if I can turn it around. Like, comment on the video, and subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 250 subscribers. Peace. I say Liverpool, we there. Every game we there. From on field to everywhere. Premier League, we say. The rest is the only way. For me, for you. We chat football, We chat football, Liverpool, we there.